Joined here at the 2013 If My World 10 scale two-wheel drive by Ruona. Jason, can you talk us through a little bit what's happening today so far?
Well, we a little bit of a delay starting today because of the weather the other day. I think they did a good job of getting the track ready for everybody. I think they waited a little longer just because they wanted that front section to dry a little bit more, and I think it's been good so far. The track's really big. Long lap times. 29s, probably beating 28s here in a couple rounds, and I think it's going to be good for some really high-end racing. There's some tricky jumps out there, especially at the end of the straightaway, and 5 minutes clean runs. Obviously a lot of guys are going to do it, but 28-second laps. It's going to be really challenging. A little bit more so than the Nationals and I think the other warm-up race that they had here.
We caught up with a couple of drivers earlier, and a lot of them are saying that they're getting to grips with the track quite easily. And do you think it could come down to a question of just tenths of a second separating, say, the top 10, top 20 even?
Maybe individual laps. I still think that there's probably only a handful of guys here that are going to put in good 5-minute runs. I just think it's that hard to do here in two-wheel drive. I think four-wheel drive will be a little more of an open. I think we'll have maybe more TQs in that class. I wouldn't be surprised to see more of the same guys showing up in two-wheel and then more of a variety in four-wheel. That's at least my personal opinion. This track's no joke. This is a tough track. Probably really good for Worlds.
Are you seeing a lot of breakages, or is it more of a case of that there are sections on track where you can lose time and easy to make mistakes?
It has a little bit of everything out there. There's a big flat section, on the left side over here with a couple 180s back to back, and then a little sweeper, and then a tabletop after, which honestly looks like one of the harder sections to drive, at the right speed. I think you have a tendency to overdo it when the track's this big and you want to jump on it. But I think honestly what it comes down to is the technical stuff. When you get to the end of the straightaway, all the jumps seem to be over there that are difficult, and I think guys will figure that out. But I think it also could be an area where you're racing with somebody, and just touching briefly is going to be it's going to be breakage if you touch in the air with the traction that the track has and the speed that you're going to be going. So that's what I kind of see happening there.
And what about the event ambience as a whole, the atmosphere, everything? Are people just sort of pensive, looking for qualifying, just looking to set sort of 3 consecutive laps or just get a good time in for tomorrow?
Well, I think the tough thing about the Worlds is people, there's so much time that you have to start. Everybody gets in a little early, and then you can, there's kind of a lot of panic to start. It's like, where am I going to pit, and do I have the right pit spot? And then you go through tech, and inevitably something isn't right in tech, and you got to change that. And people spend hours and hours here just making sure their cars go through tech and without a problem. And that's that causes people a lot of nervousness, I think, and people are a little wired out about it. So I think at first the atmosphere is kind of panicky. I want to get out there, but my car's not going through tech, and I got to get my batteries done, my motor, my chassis teched, and people are a little panicky at first, and it starts to settle out as people get track time, and then it's like, okay, I've been out there, my car goes through tech, and everyone starts breathing a little bit more, which I think is good, and then I think the atmosphere kind of loosens up a little. But then when we hit that controlled round tonight is when everything's going to go everyone's going to get right back nervous again. And because then, it's like you're on the clock for good. So, the atmosphere in general, the weather's great now. The track looks great. Kevin did obviously a really good job. He's got a lot of experience building these kind of tracks. And I'm enjoying myself so far here. So, I think the atmosphere is definitely worth checking out.